A lot of people tell me this. Rishabh, I've had to move from Microsoft Excel to Google Sheets and I am facing a challenge. The challenge is I knew the features, I knew the options, I knew where the buttons were placed, but let's say when it comes to creating a pivot table in Google Sheets, I'm a little lost. So that's precisely the reason I have created this video series where you will learn how to create pivot table for dashboards in Google Sheets. So let us start with the first section and let's see what's in store in this video.
All of you, welcome to this program on Google Sheets Pivot Table for Dashboards. In this video, I'm going to start with the basics and I'll be able to take 3 points in this short video. What are the prerequisites? What is the data structure that pivot table loves? How do you create a pivot table from the data tab and the 4 layouts that it presents? Row, column, values and filter. What do they mean? So let's get started. First, the data structure that a pivot table loves is that of flat file. To help you understand the concept of flat file, let me give you an example of cross tab first. A lot of times you would get a table where the 2 attributes of the data are crossing each other tab-wise. That's the reason it's called cross tab. Now one could easily look at the data and understand that Harvey scored 8, 7 and 9 in these 3 respective examinations. Written exam, technical exam, maybe final exam. Now, when you transform this data into a format of flat file, the same data would appear like this. Harvey appearing 3 times, followed by written, technical and final, and the score. Each line represents one complete transaction. Now in Microsoft Excel, you could convert this into this format using a feature called unpivot column. However, in Google Sheets, you'll have to use a combination formula, which I will explain later in this program. So this program is not just basics of Google Sheets pivot table, but there are a lot of tips and tricks which I'm going to share with you. At the moment, my point was just to make sure that I'm able to help you understand the difference between cross tab and flat file. Flat file is what pivot table loves to have. Next, let me start with a raw data. It consists of 5,000 rows of sales transactions. What this company does is sell sports equipment, more specifically in the category of bikes, clothing, components, and accessories. When you take some time and look at the data, you will realize that this company is selling it to customers across the globe. I can see the countries of US, UK, Canada, Germany, France, and so on. And each customer could belong to a certain tier, let's say gold category, silver category, or maybe platinum category. So each line represents one order, one transaction, and this is the data we'll be using to create the pivot table and understand the basics. First, I choose the entire data using a shortcut key. Now, just a quick tip here. If you press Ctrl and / in the Google Sheet, you will get this keyboard shortcut. So let me write this down for you in case you are confused. Ctrl and /. That will fetch you this panel of keyboard shortcuts. Next, you can enable the compatible spreadsheet shortcuts feature, which means if you're aware of Microsoft Excel shortcut keys, you can use most of them by simply switching this button on. Now, having selected the data right from the beginning, I will now go to Data tab. Click on Pivot Table option. Now, once having done that, I'll be careful whether to have this pivot table inserted to an existing sheet or a new sheet. So I'll keep that new sheet. And in case you think that in future more rows of the data might get added, you might want to remove the row references and just keep the column references such that any new data row that gets added will automatically be updated in your pivot table. I will be clicking on create. Now, once I have this pivot table in a new sheet, let's understand the various components of the pivot table layout. Now, pivot table has been generous enough to give some hints. For example, this section is what is referred as rows. Similarly, the headers are referred as columns. All the numeric data that exists here would be referred as values, and later we'll see how can we filter the entire pivot table using this additional option called filters. At the moment, let me show you what happens if I go to the rows section, click on add and choose region. Let me do that once again. Add and I choose region. You can see the list of all the regions which are by default arranged in an ascending order. That is A to Z. Next, I go to column and I click on add and I choose the customer tier. See, on the header, I get to see gold, platinum and silver. Now, the structure is in place, but I do not get to see the numbers. The reason for that is because I have not chosen any column header under the values attribute. So I click on add and I'm going to choose gross sales amount. Wow, I get to see all the numbers, and this is like a pretty neat pivot table report which shows you all 3 years sales data. Now, if you wanted to look at this data from only a single category of business, I could have gone to filters, add, choose category, and once the category is chosen, I can click on the filter and decide to see, hey, can I choose just bikes? By clearing out all the items and just choosing bikes and clicking on OK. So the numbers that you see right now are all bikes. Now, this is the basics of pivot table. We'll get to understand more features as we move along in the entire journey. For example, how to sort the data, what are these drop-down options for, and so on. So I strongly suggest that please pause the video and do practice this till here so that you can get comfortable when we start talking about the other features of the pivot table. The series will not only have the basics but also really advanced features which I'll discuss towards the end of the video series.
This is a long video. It's as good as a paid online course. So if you wish to see this later again, you may want to bookmark this video, or maybe better even subscribe to this channel so that you don't have to search for this video again later point in time when you really want it. For now, continue with the next section.
This is the program Google Sheets pivot table for dashboard A to Z. And in this video, we'll talk about 3 major aspects of pivot table. How do you sort the data? How do you use values inside the pivot table layout, either for aggregation or for calculating percentages? Let's begin. Now, let me remind you that in one of our previous videos, we spoke about why flat file is different than cross-tab data. And pivot table loves this line-by-line data, which we refer as flat file. We've also went ahead and looked at the data that we will be using for pivot table. It's a 3-year sales transaction data. We are selling bikes, clothing, components, and accessories to multiple customers across the globe. And using this data, we also went ahead to make a pivot table. Now, in this structure, we are not using any of the attributes so far, so we're going to start afresh. First, let me show you what happens if I click on add and choose region. Okay. So I can see all the vertical list coming up stating the region names. Now I'm going to go to value section and click on gross sales amount, and that should give you the value or the sum of gross sales amount for all the 3 years of data across these regions. Now, question number 1. What would you do in case you want to sort this data in highest to lowest order or descending order of gross sales amount? Well, the first thing you do is go to regions, and you will automatically see that there is something called sort by. Now, currently it's sorted by region, which means A to Z sequence. I'm going to change that to sum of gross sales amount, and see by default it gets sorted in ascending order. Let me change that to descending and see the result. Clearly, United States is the top amongst the list. Next, you might want to ask, hey, I've got this sum of gross sales amount, but what if I want the total number of transactions that took place in these regions? If you're referring to total number of transactions, you mean numbers, and numbers are present under values layout. So I go to values, I click on add. Oops, I accidentally clicked on one of the attributes without consciously choosing it. So let me cross this out and let me click on add. This time gross sales amount. But notice the numbers are same. The reason for that is both of them are using sum. Why not choose the second one and choose count? So it counts all the numbers in that column of gross sales amount, and it gives you the total of 5,000, which means 5,000 rows of transactions. So this way, you can actually choose multiple mathematical calculations and get exactly what you're looking for. Now I want you to try this before you move on. However, after this step, I'm going to show you what contains inside this show as option. For example, let me convert this count back to sum, and then let me decide to show this sum value as percentage of column. What it does, it divides the United States sales by the total of grand total, and then whatever the percentage comes up, it shows up there. Let me give you a quick proof point by choosing the value US sales divide by the total. And the result of that is 61.35%, and that's exactly what I'm getting. However, you would be curious to know what is meant by percentage of row or percentage of grand total. To be able to show you the meaning of this, I must also use the column section of pivot table. So here we go. Let me copy this pivot table, paste it in few rows beneath this. Next, I'll remove all the gross sales amount being used under the values. After which I'll be using the column headers. To keep it simple, I'm going to put customer tier into the column section. Okay, I can see gold, premium and silver. Now let me add the values with gross sales amount. Now here is where I will show you what is meant by percentage of row or column or grand total. If you wish to divide the gold total by the entire United States total, let's see what the number would be. I'll choose this gold total, divide by the total sales for United States. The number that I'm getting is 34.3%. Now, if I choose the value and change the calculation to percentage of row, let's see what the number appears to be. See, 34.3%. So I think now you can understand that percentage of row means each number inside that row will be divided by the respective grand total. Okay, let me go back and choose the default. This time I'm going to show you what is meant by percentage of column total. Suppose you wish to know that in the entire total sales, in the gold category customers, what is the contribution of United States gold category customers? So naturally, you'll end up dividing this number by the grand total, the result of which is 54.5%. Now let me show you what happens if I choose the calculation as percentage of column. See, the same answer, 54.5, is the same that I'm getting by manually dividing those two numbers. So I think by now you would have guessed that what is meant by percentage of grand total. When you divide a certain number by the super grand total, that's exactly what we are going to get. So let me go back to default. Let me do a manual calculation of choosing one number by the super grand total, and let's see what the number is. It's close to 21%. So I'm going to go back and change this to percentage of grand total, and that's exactly what I'm getting. So I hope with this video you understood how can you use percentage of row, column or grand total depending on your data structure. And you can use the same field twice, one for total sum and the other one for percentage of column or grand total.
You would have realized by now that this is a very structured video where I'm talking about each topics one at a time. It's a great idea if you wish to share this with one of your colleagues or maybe many of your colleagues in the organization so that all of them can learn how to create pivot table in Google Sheets. Let's continue.
I hope you're enjoying this entire learning of Google Sheets pivot table for dashboards. I'm trying my best to break down all the concepts in short videos so that you can grasp them, you can practice them and get a good grip on those concepts. Just to do a quick recap, we have discussed about the concept of crosstab versus flat file and the fact that pivot table loves to work on flat files. Later in the program, I'll talk about this complex formula and why is this needed. Right now, let me carry on. We spoke about how did we create this pivot table and what are the meaning of these options called percentage of row, column and grand total. Right now, our agenda is going to be simple, how to rename headings, what happens when you double click on a number, and how to use the filter layout. Let's get started. As you can see, these headings can get quite lengthy. So you may simply want to select them, delete them and give your own heading. I'm just giving a dummy sales. That's it. Next, if you double click on any single number, let's say I do, it opens up a new sheet which gives you the breakup of that number line by line from the original data. It also is very generous in telling you that, hey, if you want, we could delete that sheet, but it's time bound. So if next time you create that and you don't want that new sheet to remain there, you might have to just click on delete. Right? So let me delete this extra sheet. I don't need this right now. The next thing I want to discuss is what is this filter option. Now, suppose this is the data for all the 3 years combined, and you would want to filter down this data by only wanting to show the sales that have been made to gold category customers. Okay, so let me go to filter, add the customer tier, and just like a normal filter, I'm going to click on the drop down, clear out all the options and choose gold category customers. Okay, so this total that you see right now belongs to only those sales transactions which were made to gold tier customers. Now, there are other forms of filter which can be used, and these are very common to the normal filter that you have been using in Google Sheets. For example, do you want to filter out those data which contains some particular text string or which matches exactly a certain text string? So I'll not discuss this right now, but I hope if you watch my filter video, you will get the idea how to use these filters. So that was a quick video on some of the basic aspects of pivot table. We talk about the other features of pivot table and the complexity will increase as we move along the way.
I hope all of you are clear with the concepts that are being discussed here. So if you have not subscribed to this channel so far, do so, because there are many more such tricks coming up and the level of complexity and amazement will gradually increase. Let's continue.
In this series of Google Sheets pivot table learning tricks, I guess we have learned quite a bit of tricks in the past few videos. And we are going to move ahead to learn more new features. So let me get straight to the pivot table. And we will be talking about few features such as expand and collapse, change the sequence of field items and so on. First, let me focus my attention on the rows section. Let me go to the add button, click on region, and let me use the same button again. Click on add and I'm choosing to use customer tier. As you notice, I get the button of the minus and the plus. The minus collapses the entire region name and the plus button expands it. Now, if you wish to collapse all the region names, you simply want to right click on Australia or let's say Canada and say, hey, let's collapse either Canada or collapse all in the region. See? Similarly, I right click again and I say expand all in a region. So this is what I meant by expand and collapse button. Similarly, you may want to keep the gold, platinum and silver as the first level. So in which case I will choose customer tier and drag and drop it above the region. So now you notice I'm getting gold, platinum and silver, and within them I can see the same set of regions again. So this is how you can change the sequence of field items. Next, a lot of people ask me, hey, do you have any option which allows you to fill up all these blank cells with gold and platinum and silver? Well, you can simply right click on the blank and get nothing. It happened with me and it will happen with you. What I suggest you do is not right click here because you won't get anything. Instead, you go to this option which says repeat row labels. See the difference? Right. Now, let me go ahead and add values which will show you gross sales amount. Now, at times you would not want to show this intermittent subtotals. So what you do in that case is go to the respective field items under the row section and test this. What happens if you disable this option called show totals? You won't get the total customer tier level grand total. What happens if you disable this option, show totals for region? See the impact? Now people use these options quite often to be able to modify the report or get them in a format that is most suitable for a certain chart.
If you have reached to this point, great. You have almost completed the basic to intermediate level of Google Sheets pivot table. However, the next section on grouping is very important in case you want to derive some interesting analytics from your data. So don't go away, continue watching this video.
It's great to see that all of you have come a long way in learning Google Sheets pivot table. We learned a lot of basic features. We also saw some of the extra, slightly more advanced features, and now I'm going to talk about a feature called date grouping. Few of those who know how to use this trick do not use this fully, and let's see what does it do and what can we further learn more. So I go back to the pivot table where it's just blank. In the rows section, I'm going to click on the button add so that arrives with a list of options from which I choose to use sales date. Now this is great. Let me also share with you that in case you have all valid dates in this list, you can right click on any one single date to choose an option called create pivot date group. Now let me share, if I choose year month, what happens? Alright, I can see the year and the month, but what if I could have an option which shows year and month separately in two different columns? Well, there is no such option. So what do? Are we going to be satisfied with this option? Absolutely no. So here comes the trick. When you add date for the first time in the rows section, simply choose to use the basic option of year. Now, go back to the pivot table layout and add one more sales date in the same list. And in the second column, right click again, go to pivot date group, and this time choose month only. See how easy was that? So now you can get a very clear cut layout of year-wise, month-wise, what could be the sales. So to be able to show me the sales, I need the values. And for that, let me click on add, and in add, I'll choose gross sales amount. Now mind you, you can use a chart to show this data graphically. However, you will not need these subtotals or these grand totals. They would interfere with the charts. So what I might choose to do is I can disable show totals from the year as well as month. Now this data is pretty much clean. I can choose the entire block, go to insert, pick up a chart, and see this is what it shows me. Right? Of course, you can format this to show data labels, change the colors. You can in fact also allow us to see repeat row labels. But that doesn't look good, so I'll just let go of that. But the idea was, how do you use date grouping feature with the unique trick of bringing twice the sales date, one for year, one for month, and having this series of sales over the last 3 years. It's amazing to see that you're spending so much of time in learning one of the most important aspects of Google Sheet, that is pivot table. You've come a long way in understanding these concepts, especially the last video where we spoke about what is date grouping and how can you use a specific trick to create a beautiful dashboard with pivot table of Google Sheets. Now this time we're going to learn about pivot group rule for numbers. So let me show you what this is and how can you use this to your advantage. Suppose in this pivot table, under the rows section, I bring in sales. Let me be a little slow, go to add section and click on gross sales amount. Now I do understand it's going to be a long list because it is showing you the ticket size of the gross sales that has been done for a given transaction. Now since these are numbers, let me right click on that, and there is something called create pivot group rule. Now we had something similar when we had right click on a list of dates, but this time when I click on the rule, it doesn't give me anything related to months or years. It gives me that how would you want to create a set of range. So let me give an example. Minimum value 1 and interval size 1000. Do notice that I have not given anything under the maximum value because I don't know the upper limit. I click on OK, and what I noticed is that all these sales ticket size have been transformed in a series of range values. Now, why is this important? Suppose under the value section, I go to the add button and click on gross sales amount. And in that, I choose to use the option of count. What this tells me is that out of the 5,000 transactions that happened between those 3 years, this is how the transactions happened under various buckets of the sales ticket size. Now, this could be pretty useful in case you wish to choose the data, excluding the grand total, and go ahead and make a basic chart to show you a visualization that, hey, majority of the transaction happened between the ticket size of 1 to 1,000. Isn't this great? You can pretty much use this for any number. I'm so glad to see all of you practicing these concepts of Google Sheets pivot table and getting a good comfort level on using these logics and techniques. In this video, we'll continue with learning of pivot table group technique, and this time it's going to be related to text. Let me show an example. I go to pivot table, and in the rows section, let me add a text field, let's say region. I'll want to keep it simple to show this example. I'm also going to click on values, maybe add gross sales amount. Now suppose we have a manager who looks after the sales from Australia, France and Germany. I want to combine all these 3 countries' sales together in one single group. So I choose Australia, I press Control, I choose France and Germany, and I'm keeping Control pressed before I do a right click, and then I go to the section called Create Pivot Group. You will realize there is a grouped region which now consists of all these 3 countries supported by an overall subtotal. Let's say I want to rename this region to combo. So I can go here and just type in the new category name as combo. So now combo is a combination of sales of Australia, France and Germany. Isn't that great? If you wish to ungroup, you can definitely go back and ungroup the pivot items. That's it. So continue this learning journey with me, because I'm going to increase the level of concepts inside Google Sheets pivot table, and you'll be amazed to see what kind of techniques still exists in pivot table. For example, in the subsequent videos, I'll talk about how to use the sparkline function, or how to write this function of array formula split and flatten, and why do we need that. So stay on, I'm going to discuss more such tricks.
In the next section, I'll talk more on the visual representation, formatting and interactivity. So continue your learning and keep watching this video.
In this super short video on Google Sheets pivot table, I'm going to show you how to apply slicers. Not just one, but even more than one. So let me go to pivot table, and I already have region along with the gross sales amount for all the 3 years combined. Now, you have to place your cursor in the pivot table region before you can go to Data tab and look out for the option of Slicer. Now, Slicer is a physical object that is placed on top of the Google Sheets. However, the features are very much common to what you have already experienced under the Filters tab. First, I choose the Slicer. I click on the triple dot to go to Edit Slicer. Now, it says apply to pivot tables, and I need to choose the column based on which the slicer will be created. So I choose for the time being customer tier, which means I can go to this drop down of all, clear out all the values and decide to choose gold, which means as I press OK, I will be getting the values of only gold tier customer sales over the last 3 years. Now, people have this question. Can I create more than one slicer on the same pivot table? Well, it's simple, as long as you keep your cursor on top of the pivot table region. So let me show you how. I go to Data tab, I click on Slicer again. This is empty right now, so I need to click on that and click on this Edit Slicer. And very soon I'll be getting this option to choose a column. So this time, let me choose something different. Let's say, how about category? So now, within gold level customers, I can clear out all the values and just choose to see clothing sales. I click on OK. So what you now see is customer tier, one option chosen, that is gold, and within that, clothing. Of course, you can change these slicer filters as and when you decide to choose to see a different view. By now, you would have got a great understanding about the features and techniques of pivot tables so far. So in this video, I'm going to show you how can you make your pivot table visually more appealing, more beautiful. So for example, how do you add these heat map like colors? How do you add this small horizontal bar using the function sparkline? So let's go ahead and see how it works. First, let me get a small data inside the pivot table and then show you with this small data how we can apply these techniques. So I have got region, I have got their sales. Now, first thing I do is I choose only the individual numbers and not the grand total. I go to format. My intention is to go to conditional formatting and there choose color scale. Color scale is a feature which allows you to have formatting rules such as from a single color to different shades of color on the high intensive side, white to green or green to white. This allows you to give a kind of a heat map like feature inside the pivot table values. Now, this is good, but I'm going to show you something even better. There's a function in Google Sheets, it's called sparkline, okay? What it asks you is the raw data, the number on which the sparkline will be based, and the various attributes and the option which decides the type of the chart as well as how lengthy or wide that would be. So let me break down this formula to help you understand better. We have made separate videos on sparkline function, but for now, the attributes are what is the chart type? It's going to be bar. Now notice, once I'm mentioning the attribute and defining that attribute, the next part is a semicolon. This differentiates that what is the next attribute that I'm about to declare. So I'm about to declare that what is the max width of this horizontal bar chart. And then put a comma and then defining using a formula what is the max width. So let me write this with you. Let me just copy this formula. Let me go to the pivot table, paste it somewhere in a manner that I can see that all the time. So for example, I write equal to sparkline. There you go. I choose the data. Now generally when you look at a sparkline, you look at a series of data, right? That's how you create a sparkline by default. But I don't want this. What I want is this is the raw data, okay, comma. Then I need to put the curly braces on, and within that curly braces pair, I need to define the attributes and the values associated with the attributes. So double quotes, let me be careful about the spellings, chart, type, double quotes closed. I know this could be a little tedious when you're starting to type in, but if you've written one formula, then you can copy paste the same structure for other aspects. So here I put a comma and I declare that, hey, I need a bar. Double quotation closed. Now, I need to declare the next attribute, which is max. What is the maximum length that is allowed in that particular chart? So I declare the attribute max. And now let me give a random number. Let's say 400,000. I can even make that 4 million. So let me press enter and see what happens. Now, on a scale of 4 million, 140,000 is too small. And that's the reason you're seeing that's one very small bar chart. But if I copy paste this down, further even down to the grand total level, you realize out of a scale of 4 million, we are almost catching up to 3.36 million. So why don't I intelligently apply this value so that it's dynamic? Now, one way to do that is you can put a max formula, and inside that max formula, you can choose this entire column, which will by logic show you grand total as maximum value. So with that thing in place, I drag and drop this formula. So as you can see, this is the max for grand total and the rest are part of it. But personally, I feel this could be done better by taking the second maximum value, which is anything less than the grand total. So what I use is a formula called large. Now what is large formula? Let me write the large formula, choose the entire column and let me put in 1. That means the first of all the values in terms of the highest value. However, when I put the number 2, it means the second largest value. So instead of choosing to use max, I decide to choose large, okay? And within large, I'm going to choose the entire column, correct? And put comma 2. That means the second largest value should be taken as the maximum scale. Enter. With this, I copy paste this down. So as you can see, the highest value of United States is being considered as the main scale and all the others are following that. So if you like this kind of a trick inside the pivot table, whether to use a color scale or whether to use a sparkline, do share your feedback. Before concluding this video, let me also remind you that yes, you can also apply the theme option, and that will allow you to quickly change the format on the color of the pivot table. See? So you can choose your favorite one and just let it be at that point. So if you are interested in learning more such advanced tricks, be there with me.
The next few sections are the last few sections where I'll discuss about really advanced tricks, and you will be amazed by what's there in Google Sheets. After watching this section, in case you found something new, please do not forget to comment and like the video. Of course, it goes without saying that subscribing to this channel will help you come back to this channel for such tricks again and again.
Hey, all of you, welcome back. And I'm so glad that you have made it almost till the end of the journey of Google Sheets pivot table learning. In this short video, I'll talk about the calculated field concept and why you must use that with caution inside pivot table. Let me show you what that means. First, I go to a basic pivot table where I have region and have sum of gross sales, and this refers to all the 3 years combined sales. Now, I want to create an artificial column, a column which simply doubles this sale or maybe converts this into a different currency. So I go to the value section, I click on add, and there is something called calculated field. I'm going to click on that. Now it asks me to write a formula, and the formula will use the column headings. For example, gross sales AMT, that's a short for amount. And since this data has a lot of spaces in between them, I will have to use the single quotes to refer to them. So let's see how is this written. Single quote, GROSS space sales space AMT single quote. Once that is written, multiplied with 2, and I'm going to click enter. See, now you get an artificial column which simply doubles the gross sales amount, as you can see from the calculation itself. So do remember to put that single quotation in case your name has some special character or space inside it. Now, let me also warn you that please use this with caution. So for example, I have another pivot table which simply has gross sales amount as the value. Now, what I wish to do is find out the total discount given. For example, let's consider discount percentage as the column and the gross sales amount. I wish to multiply 120 with 8% and do that for all the line items to get the total discount amount. For now, I'm going to ignore this last column. So let me get back to the calculation field. Here, I add another calculated field wherein I'm going to multiply 2 columns. So single quote, GROSS space sales space AMT single quote closed, multiplied with another single quote DISC space percentage sign single quote. Enter. Now I'm amazed to see that the number of discount is more than that of sales, and I'm wondering why is that happening. Calculated field doesn't work at a granular level. When I go to the raw data master, what happens is when I do a sum of the total gross sales, it's going to be a big number, certainly. Now, instead of multiplying line by line and getting me the sum of all the discount amount, it has done a sum of all the discount percentages and then multiply this aggregated number with the aggregate of sales. So let's see what that number is. I multiply both of them, and this is exactly the same answer that I'm getting in my calculated field. So what I want to ensure is to warn you that please use this with caution. It should not be used for calculations which require line by line multiplication or division or addition. Instead, it should be always applied where you need a calculation on an aggregate number. So that was about calculated field with a small caution there. With all this knowledge of pivot table that you've acquired, I hope you are able to put that to use to create dashboards using Google Sheets pivot table. Because in this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most advanced features that is required for creating pivot table. And that is, how do you convert cross-tab data to a flat file format? Because pivot table loves to create pivot table on a flat file format. So I've put down in the case study the link to the Google support documents which will allow you to understand this further. But for now, let me share with you the formula which allows you to convert the cross-tab data into a flat file. First, let me show you what happens if I write a formula called array formula with a combination of 3 different ranges. So array formula is a formula which in simple terms puts the output which spans or spills beyond a given current cell. So I choose this entire range of three names: Harvey, Amy, Emily. I'm going to put the ampersand sign, put the double quotes, then the pipe sign, then again the double quotes. Once again, I'll put the ampersand sign because I wish to combine this information with the headings placed on the top, written, technical, and final. To save some time, I'm going to copy this portion of the formula and put it towards the end. So what I'm essentially telling the formula is, please combine that with a pipe sign and also finally with the entire array of the values. That's the test scores. I'm going to choose the entire matrix here. Now I'm going to close the bracket and I'll allow you to look at the formula for a few seconds and then I'll press enter. Great. Now I have been able to create combinations. For example, Harvey written 8, Harvey written 8. Similarly, Harvey technical 7, Harvey technical 7. But I want all these values beneath the original set of values so that they are all existing in the same column. Now to do that, I need to use a formula called flatten. And that's exactly the link of which I've given in this case study. If you want to learn more, you can, but no need. Look at my video and see what it does. I include a formula called flatten. I close the parenthesis towards the end and I press enter. So array formula brings all the combinations of value, and flatten functions allows them to put in a single column, flattening out the value. Now, of course, I need to either use text to column to split this data into multiple columns, or best would be to use a formula called split. So I use the function called split, open the brackets, and rightly placing my cursor so that I can introduce a comma, because split formula asks me by what delimiter do I want to cut the data. So in double quotes, I'm introducing the pipe sign and closing the double quotes, enter. So see, a formula which combines these three put together that allows you to quickly convert the cross-tab data into a flat file. If you are a Microsoft Excel user, you could have done this using Power Query's unpivot feature, but Google Sheet doesn't have that feature. It has the formula approach to convert this sort of data. So for example, this is the name of the person, this is the type of the test, and this is the score. Now, once you have the flat file, I can choose to use this data. Go to data tab, make a pivot table, and let's see if I could make an existing sheets area used for pivot table. Let's see what it does. So on the right hand side, I can see a pivot table being created, and now it's very easy for me to choose inside the rows, let's say name of the people, Amy, Emily, Harvey. In the column, I can choose the type, and then the score could be found under the value section. And you could do a lot of analysis based on this. So how many instances did you get a range of score of 0 to 5? So I can probably go back one step and use my learning of previous videos on how can I bring in score in the row area, and then use the pivot table group rule. Let's say an interval of 3, okay, 3, or maybe it could be even 2. And once I'm able to do that, I can put inside the values the name, which essentially means count the name. So out of all the 9 scores, majority of them got placed under the 6 to 8 category. So these are the kind of analysis you can do if you can make a pivot table. And when can you make a pivot table? If you can convert a cross-tab data into a flat file format. I hope you love this feature. This is slightly advanced, but very, very powerful. So great to have you on board for the entire series of the pivot table.
If you have reached to this point, congratulations. You watched a lengthy video. It's as good as completing one full online video course on Google Sheets pivot table. So continue sharing this learning with all of your colleagues and friends. And of course, before leaving this channel and this video, do subscribe to this channel. I'll come up with more such tricks in the future.